Orange blossoms are in full bloom right now, so we're taking a hive from Jacksonville, Florida down to Lake Wales to take advantage of the honey flow. Never done this before, never trucked them anywhere aside from bringing them home from when I first bought them. But I'm going to go give it a shot. Orange blossoms are in full bloom right now, so we should be able to fill up 4 supers in no time. I just dropped off this hive in the heart of orange grove country in Lake Wales, Florida. We're in a grove that's, well, I won't say how big it is. It doesn't really matter because it's surrounded by nothing but more grove. So there's quite a lot of nectar. The trees are in bloom. Not all the trees have started blooming yet. Some of them have. It depends on what species they are. But I'm really happy for my bees. My bees come from an urban environment. Now they're out here in this rural environment. There's just nothing but nectar, basically. And then as behind me, you can see they have a water source, a great water source. Okay, I've got to stop me right there. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did the very first time I tried to collect, or I did collect, orange blossom honey. But know that I'm showing you this because I think it's important to show what's wrong and also talk about what's right. So what I'm about to do here is I'm about to show you that I added like 4 or 5 supers to the top of my hive body. There's absolutely no reason to do that. I did that because I had talked to a beekeeper in the area who told me that he takes his hives around to different nectar sources and collects honey. Well, he told me that you need to stress out your colonies when you do that. So really just throw a bunch of supers on there, stress them out, get them into the collection mode. Well, they can only be in the collection mode so much, depending upon how much there is to collect, right? So if you get down there a little early, or if the bloom's kind of sporadic throughout the season, 4 supers aren't going to get filled up. They're probably not going to get filled up in Florida anyway. I don't think I've ever filled up 4 supers from one hive during one nectar flow. Maybe 2 full and 3 going into 3, but I've not been so lucky as to collect 4 medium, well, this is a D, but medium supers. So like I said, walk with me through these next few steps. Watch what I do, but don't do it yourself because it's totally wrong. What I suggest doing, add 1 on there, and if you can get down there and check it frequently, or it's not very far from your house, just go every week and give it a check, give it a look, see what kind of nectar flow you've got, see if you need to add another super, and if you do, add 1. Something also to note about the orange blossom, or citrus, let's say, when you're in a big grove, you probably have different species of oranges. So the farmer might have a tangerine, he might have, I don't know, it's like a navel orange and some other kind of orange and some other kind of orange, and they all might bloom at different times. So that's the case where I go. The reason I say tangerines is because tangerines are right next to my hives, and then to the left across this little dirt road is another kind of orange. I forget what it is, but then there's some other species out there. And some of them will bloom, say, beginning of February, and then some of them might not bloom until a couple weeks later. Also with the bloom, they don't just all bust out and open at the same time. You'll get a couple blooms, a couple more on the same tree, and it'll take a few weeks before all the blooms are finally off. So after that couple weeks, then you might start a new bloom that'll last another couple weeks. So where I'm going is, it doesn't all happen at once. Know the area that you're collecting from. Like me, you can't know it until you start doing it, until you start monitoring it. I went into it overzealous, and I just want to make sure that you don't do the same thing. Take my advice, don't follow my footsteps, at least not for what I'm about to show you. Just put 1 super on at a time, check it frequently, and then add from there. And I think you'll have a better harvest than maybe you would have if you'd have added 4 or 5 at one time. You can also take note of other beekeepers in the immediate area. How do they configure their hives going into the honey flow? One local commercial outfit I found started with single supers. As for what I did wrong initially, let's get back into it. But the way I've done it is I normally just do 1 brood chamber, but because I want her to build her population and be able to collect a lot and fill out these boxes, I've added a medium super for brood chamber, and then a queen excluder, deep, medium, medium, medium. I don't have any idea if those are going to fill out. We're hoping for the best, but give it another month. We'll come back and check on it and see how everything's going. What I'm doing here is adding a gazillion supers to the top of my colony. Like I mentioned earlier, don't follow in my footsteps because this is the wrong course of action. 1 super would have been perfectly fine to get us through the first week of the honey flow. We can always add more as we need. one thing that you do need to worry about when you're pollinating the orange blossoms is that the farmers at the end of the bloom are going to spray for pest. They're going to spray a pesticide. So if you know the farmers in the area, learn their schedule. If you're in the middle of a huge grove that it's all owned by one person, they can contact you and let you know when they're going to spray. But you really want to be out of there at the end of the bloom, because once those farmers start to spray, it could do bad things to your bees, so you want to have them out of there. So I'll probably come back down here. This is the middle of February right now. Probably come down here at the end of March, or middle to the end of March, to remove my hive and collect what these bees have been working on so hard for the past month. So join me next time, and we'll head back down to the groves of Central Florida to check on that nectar flow. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And on the way out, I'll leave you with some footage from the groves.